welcome to the RavenzCraft Arts Interviews project. In this interview, we get to have a talk with a very skilled rune artist and practitioner, Eril Bolverker. I first came upon Errol's work on Facebook, and I noticed that his art was very accurate and tied to the traditional old ways. I've always had a deep interest in Norse folklore and mythology and the traditions of our ancestors. The most basic use for the runes is known for communication or writing, and it was often carved on stone, wood, or even metal. These were sometimes also viewed as religious or magical symbols. And for certain people that studied deeper into the meanings of the runes, they discovered how to create these symbols that empowered healing, protection, or could aid you in some way that was needed. This is an example of a healing stave from his website and the explanation that I found from the picture. For certain people called the Vikti or the Rune Master, people that studied deeper into the more layers of meanings of the runes knew that the runes had a deeper connection with nature and the cosmos, as well as the historical significance. Runes were also used for divination and were commonly used to find answers to questions that you may want to know. Errol creates many different types of work, including Galdrastafir, bind runes, and depictions of artwork and spellcastings. These symbols and runes have many layers of meanings and power. These symbols can tap into the subconscious mind, and once you become familiar with the techniques, you can start using these to empower yourself to become more aware, more confident, or even just to get you through the task of the day. These symbols can be very effective and useful. For example, this symbol here is said to temporarily give you the strength of an enraged wolf in order to protect your family or your friend in an emergency situation. I have the original explanation up here on the screen for you to read. You can find all this and much more on Errol's website on Facebook, and there are many books and other websites out there to learn much more about the runes. But talking with Errol, he explained with me that really the best way to understand the runes is to connect with them personally and see what they mean truly to you, and then you can start to explore further in the ways of the rune casting and the rune art. So I will be showing a little bit more of his work and some website links where you can find him at the end of this video. Also, I will add them in the description. It was an honor to have a talk with another great practitioner in the rune arts. And also I wanted to mention there was a little bit of confusion actually with this interview and the study I had upon Errol. I discovered another artist, his name, or his page anyway, is called Errol's Workshop, and I confused this with Eril Bolverker's page. Now, Errol's Workshop is a completely different page, completely different person, but he does rune art that is similar to Eril Bolverker's work. It's very good. I also did an interview with him. We will be releasing and presenting that accordingly. I just wanted to point that out for any confusion. We have now found yet another great rune artist, so this is a good thing. So I just want to say thanks to all the viewers out there and everyone supporting RavenzCraft Arts. Thanks to Errol for talking with me for this interview, and without further ado, RavenzCraft Arts presents Eril Bolverker. First off, I just want to thank and welcome you to the RavenzCraft Arts interview project.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
First off, I just kind of wanted to have you introduce yourself, kind of where you're from, and how you got started with rune art.
Yep. Okay. So at the moment, I'm living in Indonesia. You know, one thing led to another, but I used to live in Australia. And a few years ago, there was, bit of a life-changing experience that led me to think that I'd be better off living in a secluded place. So here I am. And what got me into the runic arts first of all, I've got to say that I didn't know about, Nordic culture or the runes or Galdrastafir or, anything like that. But it was a bit of a, okay, if I was going to reveal all of my story, it's probably going to sound a bit crazy. People will probably think that I'm a bit of a wacko, but okay, to cut it out, to make the long story short, basically an old man with one eye found me.
Huh.
I was very I was very sick at that time, and one of the conditions that he would let me live is that I need to basically abandon the church and live according to what he wants me to do. And that's how I know about the runes and the Galdrastafir and, that sort of thing. So, yeah.
So
that's what got me into the runic arts. Yeah.
Wow,
so
that's amazing.
Unlike other artists that, learn about this runes and Nordic magic through, like online media or through books, I've only known that these things are actually called runes after my associations with internet. I'm like, this is the things that I've been seeing. So it's actually called runes. And the old man with one eye, that's how I knew him. I'm like, so the old man with one eye, I didn't know his name, but then I start researching, after a few months, and I actually found out that this guy was actually worshipped by the Germanic folk, and they called him Odin. So I'm like, okay, so cool, he's got a name. So
Yeah.
That's how I got into the runic arts.
Wow, that's awesome. So I mean, did you from then you kind of notice the connection to the Norse? I mean, is there a a different connection that you started with that was separate from the Norse? Because what I've studied has been usually just Icelandic and Norse with the runes. I mean, I know there's different types of runes.
Yes. Before my associations with the old man with one eye, I've been, dabbling into all sorts of esoteric crafts, but I wasn't doing it like really hardcore. I was it was just like a childhood interest, oh, these people can do magic, that sort of stuff. But no, previously I've no connections with any Nordic culture whatsoever. I've not a shred of Nordic genes in me, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's cool because, it calls to you. It kind of chooses you, I think, and then you experience it and it changes you with it. So that's pretty cool.
I feel very privileged. I feel very, very privileged to be gifted with the knowledge that I have now and to be able to connect with other people with similar interests.
Right, it kind of leads into the next question I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you kind of who inspired you to start studying this, but obviously you explained that. But is there anyone that you are currently studying or you get information from right now that you're kind of a fan of that you could share with us?
At the moment, I would say that, for, like, I'm talking about real humans here. One of the modern masters that I really look up to is Rasmussen. He's one of the, rune masters that I really admire. I really like his works. And the first time I saw his works on Facebook and Instagram, I'm like, wow, this guy is actually, really dedicate his life into this thing. And I start to see similarities between what the old man with one eye has been teaching me and the stuff that he's been doing. And obviously, because of my lack of experience, I started to research about him a little bit more and start getting deeper into the stuff that he does, and that's basically something that really inspires me in learning more and getting to know more about the runic arts and Nordic culture in general.
Yeah, he's very talented. I'm a fan of his as well, and I've actually
Yeah,
done an interview.
he's
You
great.
probably seen that, but yeah, he's very dedicated to his work.
What I personally think is that, runes, Galdrastafir, Seder, Galder, all those stuff, you know, they're very personal. They might have been promoted, or they might have been, the practice itself might have been originated from certain groups of, cultures or certain groups of people, but in an era like this where information floats around on the net and on books and on all sorts of media, anyone can adopt that sort of information, and if they believe in it, they can apply it in their lives, and you cannot deny the results that they're getting. If it works, then it works.
Right.
Yeah?
So,
So
do you believe that, practicing the arts and magic, do you believe that it kind of helps you to have a better life and inspire you to be more creative?
definitely, definitely. You know, esoteric knowledge is the kind of things that us modern men tend to overlook, because now we have science, we have modern machineries and all that stuff, and you can get really creative with it. I'm not saying that I hate modern knowledge and scientific knowledge and all that kind of stuff, but with magical and esoteric stuff, you can get really creative with it. I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff. The possibility is just enormous. Just like the stuff that you can do if you know maths. Magical knowledge is a little bit like that. One formula, a couple of things here and there, and you can apply it to all sorts of things. So yes, it definitely facilitates me to explore different sort of creativities than what's normally explored by people in common.
I was going to ask you now, with your art and your career, do you have any specific goal that you want to take it to? Are you interested in teaching, or are you just kind of good with sitting back and sharing your work as it is, or?
That's a tough question because I'm not the I'm not the kind of guy who plans long term, but I wouldn't say that it's a goal or a dream or anything like that. Let's just say that it's an aspiration. I would love if I were to get to that stage, but I'm not really like working hard and putting a lot of effort into it. I take day by day as it is. But what I really would like to achieve is to be able to spread the works, spread the knowledge, old knowledge about runes, things that might be regarded now as mythical knowledge, some really old knowledge, lost, forgotten arts. I really want more people to appreciate those sort of stuff because, at the moment we get too caught up with making money and living better life and have a job and go to uni and have a family, things like that. We forget that our forebears, they've got some really interesting, some pretty cool stuff that I think they're still very relevant in our modern life. That's what I want more people to realize about.
Right. Well, the reason I kind of ask you that is I'm planning a future project or a series. I'm hoping that people like Ravdis and you might get involved with adding some work, or maybe talking a little bit about more specific lessons about runes, and maybe you would be open to working on projects in the future.
Yeah, most definitely. At the moment I share my work freely, on Instagram, on Facebook, and other social media. I'd post my creation, in there, although it's not really my creation. It comes from God knows who, but it's not mine. I'm just a channel. I just jot it down and upload it online and put it out there, and it's all free. I don't trademark it. I'm not saying you can't take it, it's mine and I've got copyright. No, I'm not doing that. I share my knowledge freely. So if you've got a project like that and you think that I can help, I'd be honored to participate.
Yeah, definitely, because I think, like you said, today we need some kind of entertainment on top of the education to actually get people to be interested, So I got a plan, and I think if we kind of come together, we can really create something really good and get it out to the community, and I think we can create something good. So I'm excited to hear that you want to get involved in this too. So
Yep, I definitely agree with that. More ideas, more people can, we can create something that we might not otherwise have created on our own. So yes, I would love to participate.
All right. Well, I didn't want to take up too much of your time today. Do you have anything that you want to say to the viewers, or anything that you like to mention?
Let's just say that the old gods live. Your ancestors, they exist. They have knowledge that the scope of their knowledge is absolutely tremendous, and some of them are very we cannot possibly comprehend in entirety the sort of knowledge that they may be able to pass on to us if they choose to pass it on to us. So get in touch with your ancestors, get in touch with your forebears, get in touch with the old gods if you're into that sort of things, and you would surprise yourself with the kind of knowledge and new way to think that they might be able to inspire you.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, man. I've experienced that myself since I started working with it. Every day I wake up to something new I learn. It's just amazing how blacked off I was before, and now how open I am now. It's a major difference.
It's a pretty amazing experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I encourage you to keep doing your work, because you're very talented, and you're accurate about your stuff too. So we need this education. I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, and I look forward to talking with you some more on some future projects.
Thank you. I look forward to that.
All right, man. Take care. Have a good night.
Same to you. Thank you.
See ya. Just wanted to say thanks again to Eril Bolverker and all the viewers and supporters out there. Please remember to go check out Eril's sites and subscribe and share to your friends. We want to spread this knowledge as much as possible, and we all hope you enjoy this entertaining education that we bring to you. We are continuing this journey and talking with many more people, and we're always thinking of bigger and better projects to bring you in the future. So I appreciate all the likes and support, and like I always say, stay on the positive path.